Welcome to the show. I am Mr. Choi, and I will be your host for the next half hour or so. This is Chatting It Up at Chatsworth, your hopefully weekly talk all about music, high school, and everyday life. Our first guests on our inaugural podcasts are...
Andres.
And I'm Richard.
Alrighty. So we'll start off easy. If you guys want, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourselves.
So I'm a senior here at Chatsworth, and I've been performing with the advanced band program here at Chatsworth for the last 3.5 years. This last year, my senior year, I was declared as assistant drum major, and since then, I can gladly say that me, alongside my fellow drum major, have, along with the assistance of Mr. Choi, of course, led this band to a very historic season of, being the first band to achieve going to finals at SESBWay Championships. So, very, very cool year this year, I'd say.
I'm Andres. I'm a freshman. I started band in 6th grade and started on bass before then. I've had a pretty good year so far, and I've luckily been able to meet a lot of very nice people in the band.
All right, awesome. Thank you, guys. So let's go, since we're approaching the end of the year, let's do the common question. How would you grade your year as a whole? You can do it, your personal stuff. You can include band as well, or you cannot include one or the other. How would you guys grade this year for you?
Ooh, I'd say that's an easy 9.5 for me. While there were a little bit of downs this last year, I'd say the ups have definitely outweighed those, especially with myself doing my final year here. Everything feels just that bit much more involved, that much more special to me. So, 9.5.
I would say an 8.5 because I've definitely improved from where I was last year. And that's not only in band, but also grades. I've been doing a lot better. So
That's good. Academics are always important for sure, especially being at my program. But it's okay. Sometimes academics actually not usually, but sometimes it can fall through the wayside. Let's do one of my favorite questions. What was the best moment for you this year? If you need to take some time, you can think about it.
Well, it was winning LUSD. It was very, very good time of the year. It was just amazing to see everyone screaming, running up, crying. It was crazy.
This one's a lot more recent. It was our spring concert, I'd say.
Oh.
Specifically, when we played the final song of our concert during our concert band set list, Mount Everest. It was the first song. I think it was the first song that I played my freshman year once I joined this band.
Really?
And it's so funny. Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Because I think I joined, and the first song you gave me was Mount Everest. And I was like, what the heck am I looking at? I had just started out playing flute, a grade 4 piece to a brand new flutist. It was like, oh, wow, you're really throwing me into the deep end here, huh?
Yeah, I definitely remember that year. I was a little bit
ambitious.
Yeah, I was ambitious with the musical selections that I gave out. We were only a year out of COVID after that. But I definitely don't regret my decisions, even though I know some kids would probably like it if I didn't play such difficult music back then. But what's done is done. We're over with it. So let's change it up now. So every time we bring in a new guest, I'm going to give you guys one question that you can ask me, and I will have to answer it. Obviously, let's try not to go too deep into my personal life, trying to expose my social security or, blood type or address, stuff like that. But if you don't have a question right now, you don't have to have it. But it is going to be, what would you like to ask me? But if you're not ready yet, then we can go ahead and move on to another question.
Let's move on for now.
Okay. So aside from school and band stuff, what would you guys say is your ultimate passion?
Well, well,
or not ultimate per se, but let's go with other passion.
Well, I don't really have much of another passion outside of music. I'm gonna pursue music, so that's a kind of difficult question. Um, I mean, I'm super into video games. If that's
There you go.
something
That
that
counts.
answers that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's video games, but also recently it's been more of crocheting. It's been
Okay.
Okay.
I've made a lot of stuff, especially for different people. It's really fun to do.
Yeah, it's funny you say crocheting because my sister got into it back when we were on, I think, winter break. She was starting like a bumblebee, and I was like, "Oh, that seems so cute." But she ended up doing like a 2D version of it and not a 3D like ball looking thing. So I was a little bit sad about it, but it still ended up being really cute. So I was happy about that. Yeah, I think she's actually doing that. Last time I talked to her,
That's for sure.
yeah, but
It's
yeah.
really fun to do though, making blankets.
Yeah, I like this. I like to think that I'm pretty good with my hands, but that kind of stuff, I'm not really. That's not for me. So, any ideas on a question yet, or shall we continue on?
Still no.
Okay, all right. And again, if you don't, you get that question, and then you lose that chance. So, that's the fun of being on the podcast. You got to think on your toes. All right, now for a fun little section here. I have this segment that I want to call "Throwing Shade."
Wyatt.
It's where our band is known to be jokingly hostile towards each other, but at the same time, I really do think it builds some good character. So, who are you throwing shade at in the band and why?
Okay, well, I already said his name, but
Okay.
honestly, I'm gonna redact that
Oh, all right.
because reasons. Can it be a former student?
Sure, we can do that.
Okay. Let's say. Let's say Luke.
Okay, why?
Cause I have no idea what caused it, but just one day we both like just walked into the room and then we decided to hate each other, and it's been that way for the last 4 years, and I'm still wondering what caused it.
I mean, I would personally say it's probably the ego thing, being high brass players. Luke was obviously a trumpet player, and you were kind of getting into the trumpet world, and trumpet players don't like people invading their territory. So that would be my outside perspective on it, but I can't say for sure. We'll have to check in with Luke to see if he maybe still feels that way or not.
Maybe you'll get him on the podcast.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll never know.
Maybe he'll throw shade at me.
Andreas, you throwing shade at someone?
Wyatt.
Okay, why?
He gets shaded at me.
Yes. As soon as I got here, it's just he seemed nice, and then it went downhill fast. It was
Gotcha. Yeah, Wyatt is a very interesting character. This terminology hasn't been used a whole lot this year because it ended up not happening, but bane of existence used to be a superlative that we vote on. It was like just somebody who I couldn't stand because they were just so annoying all the time. And Wyatt, no, surprisingly, no, Sandy never got it. Wyatt got it when he was a freshman. But he definitely got better over time, thankfully. But yeah, that's a good one for sure. Okay. I would also like to vent about something, and you guys can definitely help me out with this because you can give me some student perspective on the matter. So, there are AP tests going on right now. And apparently, if there is some outside distraction that's so bad, a student can report that to whoever's in charge of the AP test, and their test can become voided. How do you feel about that?
I have to ask, are you referring to that instance that I personally saw on TikTok when I was getting over here to school about that one kid who complained about their proctors flirting with each other?
I mean, I didn't know about that. I'm hoping that that's not actually true. We don't want to dive into, that kind of stuff, but
This is all hypothetical, by the way, for legal reasons.
yes, obviously hypothetical reasons, yeah. But no, I'm just simply, so the venting that I wanted to talk about was our band room is relatively close to the location that they were doing AP testing, but our room is not built very well. It's very old. It's chipping away very quickly. It's not soundproofed, obviously, but we have to rehearse because, that's our period and that's our job and we have things to prepare for. But when I get a call from the office saying, hey, could you potentially move away from the testing place or close the door? It's just like, huh? Because then that's when they told me the whole thing about, their test could be voided if they complain. It's just like kids are in class every day listening to music and they never complain about having music in their ear or being distracted by their music. Yet I know for a fact that they're not listening to classical music that's proven to be beneficial to your learning. They're probably listening to like pop music, rap music, or any lyrical music that could actually distract your thinking from what you're supposed to be learning. So I'm a little bit annoyed by that, but I don't know how a student would feel.
So I get your perspective, but also if I was an AP student and I was stressing about my test, because currently today I think they're doing the AP US History test, so super stressful test. And I started hearing just any music being blasted outside my test. I'd be a little agitated too, honestly. And that's coming from the perspective of a band kid, a very enthusiastic one at that. And I think them having their scores canceled because they're complaining about an outside nuisance, in quotes, is really stupid. I don't understand why they would get their scores canceled for that. But I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like a 50-50 kind of responsibility kind of thing.
There's also just kids screaming in halls, so
There's that.
I don't get how music is more of a distraction than kids screaming, kids just yelling, running, doing whatever.
Yeah. Obviously, it's the immature side of me that's just like, let us do our job. But at the same time, I can understand. But I don't know. I'm very biased towards my field of expertise, and when music doesn't have lyrics, it's very easy for you to kind of just get not distracted by that, and allows you to kind of continue doing what you're doing. There's a lot of times where, I'll be watching a show at home with my family, and then, I'll listen to maybe some song that I just really want to listen to. It has words in it. Sometimes my brain can't really like focus on the priority of the TV show that I'm watching or the music that I'm listening to. I don't know. Do you guys ever have that same feeling?
With doing homework, yeah.
Okay. So like, let's say you're reading a text and you have a song going in your head. Sometimes the text like kind of gets jumbled up with what you're reading. Okay.
I'd say so.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not trying to be vindicated with my complaint. It's just, if they're gonna complain about it, at least we're not doing, singing loud vocal music or, all that kind of stuff.
And at
But
least we're inside.
yeah, we could easily be outside,
Yeah,
but
though I still don't understand why they would cancel the student scores for that. That's just
Yeah.
yeah, that's the one thing that I think that really kind of just got under my skin, if it canceled, and I don't even know if like there would be allowed to take the test again if that situation arose. But
I know there's AP test retakes for people who missed the AP
yeah,
exam for
yeah,
retakes.
but I don't know about like for complaint stuff.
Yeah,
That'd be
no,
kind
that
of
cancels it.
weird.
Anyways, I do have a question for you.
Oh,
Is there
no.
anything you're particularly excited for in just anything nearby in time?
Okay, all right, there you go. Richard's using his personal question. Well, I've been watching Daredevil Born Again. A very, very great show. It obviously it has the action, but there's also a lot of like the law and how being in court works. So it kind of I like investing myself in that smart stuff. It's really good. But I've been a Marvel fan for quite a long time, and Marvel's been kind of slow on it for a little bit. Yeah, maybe I'll keep it in. But what was I saying? Oh, that Marvel, has been kind of slacking lately. And I forget really, when was the last time they released a movie? Do you guys even remember?
I don't know.
Maybe it was. Oh, maybe it
I'm not a
was
movie guy.
Brand New World, Captain America.
Did the Spider-Man movie release?
No, that one's coming out this year. So that was Library. It's not spelled Libray. It's spelled Libary.
By Barbie.
So that's what I was kind of leading up to is because I've kind of been in a Marvel lull, I'm actually kind of excited for the new Spider-Man movie. Yeah, I would definitely say that's kind of the thing that I'm waiting for, because Tom Holland I think is doing a really great job at the movie, and now because it's kind of we're starting a new trilogy, I'm interested to see where it goes, because it looks like it's going to be taking more of a like serious take on the character. We're going to go into a new like I guess world with him, because it's been so much about high school, but the Peter Parker story is he does go into college and and stuff like that. So I'm curious to see what they can do with it, and just hoping that the quality is good, because I'm kind of over hate watching Marvel. It was fun for a time because it's like, how could they make stuff this bad? But now it's just like, come on.
You personally like the man spider theories.
Yeah.
The man spider. Okay, yeah, I saw those online. I didn't read into those a lot, but I'm aware of it. So, I mean, it's seeming like they're gonna do a Tobey Maguire and give him actual spider powers and not have him use web fluid from
I'm pretty sure the trailer did show him using.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they tried their best to not actually show it. It's implied that he's gonna do it, but it hasn't actually been a confirmed thing yet. But that's okay. Have you thought of one yet?
Yeah, out of your years of teaching, what is your favorite section?
What do you mean by section?
Like instrument section, like the people.
Oh.
Winds,
Yeah.
brass, or do you mean like
Like
instruments?
instruments.
So all the years that I've been teaching, what section or what instrument has been my favorite to teach?
Yeah.
I mean, I know which one isn't the right section.
What?
It's the trumpet section.
Oh, yeah. No, not a fan of teaching my trumpets. But let's say I would say actually, even though it's kind of a very simple and kind of basic answer, I would probably say saxophone, just because that's the instrument that I've made the most improvements on. When I was in college, obviously, as when you're a music ed major, you take brass methods, woodwind methods, percussion methods, string methods, and vocal method class. So that way you're able to learn every single instrument and give that knowledge to your students that you're teaching. But when I took woodwind methods, we had so many people in that class with so little time that I never actually got to play sax. So I came into this job not really knowing anything about it. So it wasn't until I think it was one of our Barry sax players at a jazz festival, they couldn't show up. So I was like, well, crap, we're playing a song that relies on Barry. I'm the only one that can do it, so I guess I'll learn it. And pretty much ever since then, my sax chops have definitely gotten a lot better. It's been really fun, because being on trumpet, you're only really using 3 fingers. So, you're kind of blessed with simplicity, but at the same time there's other responsibilities that you have to care about. But with sax, you're forced to use all of your fingers, and understanding the dexterity of that. It's not just simply remove one finger, keep going up. Eventually that finger patterns tends to change. You got to do different things for different stuff. So I would say that's definitely helped me become a better teacher. It's definitely just helped me become a better musician as well, because as a music teacher, I should have a pretty decent knowledge of every single instrument that's out there, so that way I can at least help the kids that need helping to get better. So I definitely know I had no knowledge of sax heading into this job, but now I can definitely say it's definitely one of my better ones. Now I just need to get better, I would say, at tuba. Tuba is my worst one, just because of it's my polar opposite. Being a trumpet player, we think very small. We're thinking high all the time, but with tuba, instead of thinking of spitting, you're more doing the horse thing, and my brain can't comprehend that transition from one to the other. Even though the fingerings are all the same, I have to output like double the air I do for my normal stuff on trumpet for a freaking instrument that can fit a trumpet inside of that instrument. So it's like, it's crazy that that there are some kids that can do it. So I'm amazed that they can do it. So
As a flute player, I'm curious just how different it would feel playing to
well, I think the biggest thing for you that you're going to notice is the resistance.
probably.
With flute, there is no resistance. You have your face, you have your instrument, and then 90% air around you that your air can escape to. It's the job of the flute the flautist to be able to direct that air into the instrument and not have it be lost anywhere. But I feel like you could probably, understand tuba just because you don't no longer have to fight nature, you're just fighting resistance. And I would say that's maybe one of the more challenging things about brass, but once you get that, it's easy after that. That knowing how to play brass instrument, I feel like is way easier than knowing how to start up a woodwind instrument.
Oh, definitely.
Once you can get brass, you can do the other. But with woodwinds, I don't think you can just pick up brass just because you know how to play flute or clarinet or sax.
Trying to play reed instruments. Although I can play double reeds, which is interesting.
Yeah. Well, double reeds are different than singular reeds.
They are.
The concept of biting down versus like almost like I guess like pinching the reed open.
Almost.
Yeah. So it is a very unique concept that I don't think double reeds would be kind of similar to singular reeds, but it's a woodwind, so we don't got to worry about that. Okay. We are doing great on time. Let's do one more.
Okay.
We'll end on a pseudo serious one that I want to get student perspective on. This or that?
Oh.
Ooh.
Which one would you guys want to do? This or that?
Oh, okay. As in, okay, I didn't realize.
I'm not gonna tell you what it is. You got to decide this or that. That's the whole concept of this little segment.
I don't know. Do you want to do rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah.
Okay, we chose the same thing, so let's just go with this.
Okay, ooh, all right. So, for a student perspective, I would love to hear your guys' opinion on enrollment is down in the district. Why do you think that is?
Ooh, okay. So, enrollment is down in the district. So I'd say to that, it's probably because of the what is the word? The situation that is currently happening in LA with what is it? The housing market being so very, 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 very expensive. It's kind of hard to have people be able to work here if they can't even afford to live here. And personally, I would hate to have to travel like 4 hours just to go to my job.
Mm-hmm.
That feels almost way too. Not even almost. It is just way too much. It's just if I have to live further than I'd say like an hour and a half away from my job, and even that's pushing it.
Yeah, that's
just
far.
way too much.
Okay. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, it's just same thing, housing, but also everything that's been going on. Like all the students hear about it, like all the parents hear about it, and I don't think parents want their child to be in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, LAUSD, the concept of it is great, but when you have a district as big as this one, it's really hard to make it successful. My idea about this whole thing is if we broke up the district into their regions, if you guys know what that means.
Yeah, like how we have California.
Yeah. So LA is broken up into north, east, southwest, and I believe central as well. If we broke the district into that, and had 5 separate districts, I feel like retention could potentially be better, because we're not having to cater to millions of kids.
United districts.
We can
Oh, what the hell?
Nice.
we can cater to lesser amounts, which makes it a whole lot easier. Well, unfortunately, our school fire alarm went off, and our school is very much known for having that go off, so I decided to go ahead and cut the podcast there. This is a voiceover I'm doing in editing just to save you guys the ears, but I do want to thank my students for joining me on our first ever podcast. I do want to thank all of my students for indulging me in this brainchild. Another thank you will go out to our supporters and anybody who manages to find this podcast. We really do appreciate that. Be sure to check us out on the SCSB Away circuit next year. This has been Chatting It Up at Chatsworth. I am Mr. Choi. Have a good one, and we'll see you later.